someone else's search history. I got a new phone last month, and nothing fancy, just a routine upgrade. My old one had been glitchy for weeks. Screen cracked, battery barely lasting the day. So I went to the store, picked out a mid-range model, had the guy transfer my data, the usual stuff. Everything seemed normal at first. Same photos, same contacts, same apps. But then I opened the browser, just to check something dumb, like what time the grocery store closed, and I noticed it. The search bar auto-filled before I even typed a letter. How to get rid of someone living in your house. My fingers froze. It wasn't something I'd ever typed. Not even close. But it was there, right at the top of my search suggestions. I cleared it. Thought maybe it was some weird ad-related thing. Maybe the last owner of the display model had typed something strange and it carried over. Whatever. But the next day, I opened the browser again. How to poison someone without them knowing. What does decay smell like? How to dissolve bones. That wasn't me. I checked my history. I never visited any of those pages, but the suggestions kept piling up. Each time I opened the browser, more came through. Best place to bury a body. Noise complaints and legal response time. Can you get away with it if you confess later? I went to the store, asked if maybe the phone had been used or returned. They swore it was new. Factory sealed. No refurb sticker, nothing. But I wasn't convinced. I started digging through the phone's settings. That's when I found the Wi-Fi history. There were saved networks listed, ones I didn't recognize. Most were generic names. Netgear 32, Linksys 5G, a few coffee shop ones. But one stood out. Martin House 5 GHz. That's my Wi-Fi. But I hadn't connected this new phone to it yet. I'd been using mobile data all week, too lazy to type the password. So how was it already saved? I connected the phone and opened the router admin page. Logged in, looked at the device history. That phone, my new phone, had connected to my Wi-Fi over 2 years ago, under a different device name. 2 years ago, I didn't live here. This house wasn't even on the market yet. I moved in 6 months ago. So who? I started checking deeper. System logs, app history, cloud backups. Nothing concrete, but there was a cached map route from months before I moved in. One that ended exactly at my address. I opened the account login history for the App Store tied to the device. Buried in the logs were access entries from this location. The IP matched mine. Some of them dated back 22 months. Same coordinates, same neighborhood. Before I even knew the street existed. Someone had this phone, this exact phone, before me. And they'd been here. Not just passing through. Not visiting. Studying. I went back to the search history, started cataloging it, writing everything down. The pattern was clear. They were planning something. First the research on poison. Then silence. Then more searches. More targeted. How long does it take for a body to be discovered in a basement? Can a tenant be declared missing without a police report? Tenant. I live alone. I rent the place, standard lease. Nothing weird. Or so I thought. I called my landlord, casually asked about previous tenants. He was vague. Said the last guy left without much notice. No forwarding address. No emergency contact. Happens all the time, he said. I asked if he remembered a name. He didn't. Said the rental agency handled it. I called them next. They said the unit had been empty for about a year before I moved in. The previous tenant? Left in a hurry. Left stuff behind. Never came back to claim it. They assumed he moved out of state. Never followed up. I asked what kind of stuff he left. They said, mostly junk, some clothes, a phone charger, old receipts. No phone? Number. But they admitted someone had broken in once not during my time. Earlier. The front window had been pried open. Nothing stolen. But it was reported. That break-in happened around the same time one of the search entries was logged. How to enter without a key. I went cold. What if the person who had this phone had lived here? And what if they didn't want to leave? What if, when they left, they never really did? I checked the attic. Nothing. Basement. Empty. Just concrete and dust. But then I remembered the crawl space. It's tiny. Low ceiling. Not really usable. I opened it. Shined a flashlight in. A piece of cloth was stuffed near the vent. I pulled it out. A hoodie. Old, faded, covered in dust. Inside the pocket, an old phone. Cracked screen. Dead battery. Same model as mine. I charged it. It turned on. No pin. Same Wi-Fi history. Same search history. Same route to this house. Same account name. The one now tied to my phone. And on the lock screen, there was a single note saved in the reminder app. It just said, "If found, don't let them sit there again." I don't know what it means. I don't know who them is. But I haven't slept in 3 days. And every time I pick up my phone, I'm terrified I'll see a new search. The kind that doesn't ask how to get away with something, but how to finish what was started. The exit interview. It started like any other job hunt. I'd been sending out resumes for months, taking whatever interviews I could get. Most were either dead ends or offers I couldn't afford to take. So when I got an email from a company I didn't even remember applying to, offering a well-paid position in my exact field, I figured, why not? The name was unfamiliar, but their website looked clean, professional. The address was downtown, close enough to walk if I had to. When I showed up for the interview, the lobby was spotless, not flashy, just welcoming. Soft lighting, quiet air conditioning, faint smell of coffee. The receptionist smiled like she'd been expecting me, offered tea or water. The interviewers, 3 of them, were polite, focused, almost warm. They asked thoughtful questions, seemed genuinely interested in my answers. They talked about the role in detail. Salary, benefits, paid time off. Everything sounded perfect. I left thinking I could actually see myself working there. That feeling lasted about 3 hours. I was home, making dinner, when my phone buzzed with an email. Subject, exit procedure. From HR department. Time, 7:14 p.m. Thank you for attending your employment interview today. Should you wish to decline your position, please submit your resignation letter no later than midnight tonight. Failure to do so will result in your first day of work proceeding as scheduled. I read it 3 times. Resignation letter? I hadn't even accepted an offer yet. I wasn't employed. At first, I thought it was just poor wording. Maybe they meant a decline of offer or something. Still, the tone was off. It felt like they already considered me part of the company. I replied, politely clarifying that I hadn't accepted the job. No response. I called the number listed in the email. Disconnected. Weird, right? I decided to look them up again. Not just their website, public records. That's when it got worse. The company's business registration? Canceled. 10 years ago. No active filings, no listed employees. I thought maybe they'd rebranded. Changed ownership. But every search result past a certain year was dead links or archived pages. Nothing recent. The address I'd visited? It didn't even appear under their name. Google listed it as vacant office space. I was staring at that page when my phone buzzed again. Reminder. 4 hours until resignation deadline. It wasn't from email. It was a notification from my phone's calendar app. I hadn't added it. At 11:57 p.m., I typed up a short letter. To whom it may concern, I am declining the position offered on today's date. I sent it, just in case. The email bounced back instantly. Delivery failed. Address not found. I tried deleting the original exit procedure email. My phone froze for a second, then displayed, unable to delete message. This item is protected. Midnight passed. The next morning I checked my calendar. One new event. Title, first day. Location, -- Time, 9 a.m. No option to delete. I told myself I'd just ignore it. But at exactly 8:15 a.m., I got a text from an unknown number. Your orientation begins in 45 minutes. Dress code, formal. I didn't go. I stayed home, locked the door, kept the phone on silent. But the notifications didn't stop. 10 a.m., missed check-in. 12 p.m., lunch break ending soon. 3 p.m., final meeting of the day in room 4, all with the company logo in the corner. The same one I'd seen on the office door yesterday. That night I tried again to delete the emails. Nothing worked. I shut the phone off and left it that way. For 2 days. When I turned it back on, there was a new calendar entry. Title, exit interview. Date, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Location, company address. No way to decline, no way to edit. The next day, at 5 p.m., my phone rang. Unknown caller. I didn't answer. They left a voicemail. The voice was calm, polite. A woman. We understand you're choosing to leave us. That's fine. But you should know, once the exit interview is complete, you won't be able to apply anywhere else. We'll take care of the paperwork. You'll be marked as unavailable. I deleted the voicemail. Or at least, I thought I did. It's still in my phone. And there's a new event on my calendar now. Title, reinstatement. Date, Monday, 9 a.m. The hotel that didn't exist. It was just a work trip. 2 nights in a mid-sized city I'd been to maybe twice before. Meetings all day, hotel at night, nothing exciting. I didn't even pick the place. I just searched for something clean, close to the client's office and within the budget my company gave me. The photos online looked fine. Standard room, neutral decor, free breakfast. The reviews were short but positive. I booked it through my usual travel app, got a confirmation email, and didn't think twice. When I arrived, the hotel was ordinary, which was perfect. Modern lobby, polite staff, the faint smell of lemon cleaner. My room was on the 4th floor, beige walls, a desk, a small TV, a view of the parking lot. The bedspread had that crisp, too tucked-in feel you only get from hotel housekeeping. Nothing strange. I checked in late, ordered takeout, answered a few work emails, and went to bed. The next day was the same. Meetings, takeout, sleep. I didn't even bother exploring the city. By the time I checked out, I'd interacted with exactly 3 people. The front desk clerk, the elevator repair guy who was working in the lobby, and the housekeeping staff who smiled at me in the hallway. Then I went home. A few days later, I submitted my expense report. Receipts, booking confirmation, everything. Easy. Except my manager emailed me back almost immediately. Can you double check this hotel address? Accounting says it doesn't exist. I frowned. I opened the receipt. The address was right there, plain as day. I copied it into the map app. No results. I tried searching just the hotel name. Nothing. The travel app still showed my booking history, though. Same name, same dates, same address. But when I tapped the map link, it loaded to a blank intersection. No building, no street view. I figured maybe it was brand new, not updated yet. So I checked the satellite images. Empty lot. Just an overgrown patch of grass, some broken concrete, and a chain link fence. I went deeper. City business records. No hotel registered there. No building permits for construction. No utilities in use at that location for over 15 years. That didn't make sense. I still had my payment history, charged to my company card. The transaction had gone through normally, listed under the hotel's name. I had photos on my phone from the room, the desk, the bed, the view at the window. I had location data that showed me there. Sleeping 2 nights in a row. I even had a digital room key saved in my email. It was like I'd stayed in a building that vanished the moment I left. That night, I dug through my browser history to find the original booking page. It was gone. Not 404 not found. Gone. Not listing removed. Just gone. The URL now led to the home page of the travel site, like the listing never existed. I started searching the hotel's name across other sites. Most had nothing. But on one obscure review site, I found it. The page had no photos, no address, no contact info. Just the name of the hotel, and underneath, a single review. I hope you don't go back. That was it. No star rating. No date. I kept refreshing the page. The review stayed the same. The timestamp just said, posted recently. I tried messaging the site admin, but the contact form wouldn't submit. By the next morning, the page was gone too. A week later, I was scrolling through my phone photos, trying to convince myself I hadn't imagined it. And that's when I noticed something. The photo of the bed, the one I'd taken when I first checked in, wasn't just my room anymore. There was someone in it, sitting on the edge of the bed, head down, hands clasped. I swear they weren't there before. I checked the metadata. The timestamp hadn't changed. It still said it was taken on the first night. And the next photo, the one of the desk, now had a reflection in the dark TV screen. The same figure. Standing closer. I've stopped looking at those pictures. But 2 nights ago, my travel app pinged me with a welcome back notification. Same hotel name, same dates, and next month's check-in is already booked.